Hi everyone, and welcome back to our series of Moodle tutorials for Center teachers as we set up our Moodle courses. The previous tutorials have taken you through setting up your profile and setting up your course through the course settings. This tutorial is going to take you through adding resources to your course. We'll look at giving topics a title, adding and organizing documents and web link resources. For my example, back here on my homepage, I've chosen a topic format from my Moodle course. It won't matter if you've chosen a topic or a weekly format. Everything we are going to do will be the same for both formats. Remember, you can switch this by going to your settings block and then going to edit settings and changing that topic and weekly format option in your settings options for your course. In order to edit the individual topic blocks on your course, we're going to first of all have to turn editing on. You will click this button in the upper right-hand corner of your course. Notice that the page changes to display some editing features and drop-down menus. The first thing I will do is add a short description to my first topic. To do that, I'm going to click on the little icon that has a hand with a pencil, and this is going to open an editing page. Here, you will click in this, the summary field, and you'll start to type your own description. For this example, I'm just going to type a description of, this is my description, if I can spell it, just so you can see where it goes. And I think it's still misspelled, but you get the idea. Oh, no, that looks right. But you'll notice here there's the window that has all of the text editing features. And we've looked at this window in some of the past tutorials, so hopefully that still looks familiar to you. If you want to edit some of the text and go through and make it bold or italicized or whatever, you can do that at this point. I'm just going to leave mine plain. I'm going to scroll clear to the bottom of the page and click Save Changes. And once I get back to my main page, there is where my description goes. It's small and it's, my topic is still titled Topic 1. So what I want to show you now is the second option. And I'm thinking you might opt for this option, but let me show it to you. So now instead of the summary, I want to change the name of my topic 1. I'm going to click on my editing icon again. Let's take out my summary. I'm going to uncheck to use the default section name because that's how you get the topic 1, topic 2, and that type of label. And here is where I'm going to type in the name that I want. So I'm going to type in Westward Expansion and scroll to the bottom of the page, save my changes, go back to my home page, and now my topic is titled Westward Expansion without that summary. But now might be a good time to stop and consider how you want to organize your topics. By calling mine Westward Expansion, I'm starting to organize my topics by a theme. You could organize your topics in a similar manner by titling units or chapters or other thematic types of collections. But you also can organize block by block or hour by hour. Now instead, you might title first hour or first block or homeroom or whatever applies to the blocks of time that you see your kids throughout the day. Consider, though, that if you teach similar content throughout the day, you might just be posting the same information in multiple places. Anyway, just something to consider before moving forward. But for now, let's move on to look at adding resources to your course. So you'll notice that with the editing still turned on, one of our drop-down menus is Add a Resource. The first thing I want to show you is how to add a file. Now this can be any sort of file. It can be a Word document, a PowerPoint, a notebook file, or whatever it is that you need to post. So from the Add a Resource menu, I'm going to select File. When this page opens, you'll notice that there are several required fields that are red and asterisked. So you must give your title a name and you must give it a description. So excuse me for a minute as I type. I can't type and talk at the same time. So my description is going to just be, in this case, an organizer. The description isn't all that important, so it doesn't have to be anything that's real fancy. However, if you opt to display that description, first of all, you have to check the box, but then your description becomes a little bit more important. So as I scroll down, I'm going to get down to the content block. Here's where you're going to navigate to find your file. So I'm going to click on the Add button and make sure that you click Upload a File. Now you might already be there, but just make sure that that's where you're at, and if you aren't, go ahead and click that option, and then we're going to browse for your file. So I'm going to go back. I am going to go to my Westward Expansion folder, and I want to upload the Advanced Organizer. So I'm going to select that document, and then I'm just going to click Upload this file. Now once that uploads, there it is. You can see very visually that you've just uploaded the Westward Expansion Advanced Organizer .doc file. And so now I can, one other thing that you might want to do before you save this is to determine how it is that you want it displayed. Do you want this to be an embedded document within your Moodle course? Do you want to force a download? Or do you just want to allow it to open or in a pop-up? Typically for documents, it's a good idea to force a download. It's going to require your kids to save the document in a place before starting to modify it and work on it. So I'm just going to scroll to the bottom, and I am going to save and return to the course. And now when I get back to my home page, there is my Westward Expansion Organizer. The theme that I've selected identifies this as a Microsoft Word, so it has a nice little icon that accompanies it as well. So the second thing that maybe we should look at adding, again, is under Add a Resource. But I want to show you how you can add a website or a shortcut link to a page that you want your kids to go to. So I'm going to select Add a Resource and then URL. And again, you're going to recognize this editing page. And you also notice that there's the red asterisk fields, which are required. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to give my URL a name. So I'm going to call it Website for Research. Again, you need a description. I'm just going to say website. Determine how in depth you want that description to be, according to if you want it displayed or not. And then keep scrolling down, and in the content block, this time you have a place to paste a website URL. I would recommend copying and pasting one in, just because it is so easy to mistype. So I'm just going to go to Google. If this is a website that I want my kids to research from, this might be a good one to have as a resource. I'm going to right-click the URL. I'm going to copy that. Now I'm going to go back to my Moodle tab, and I'm going to right-click and paste my URL into the external URL field. Once I have that, again, I have options as to how it is that I want that to be displayed. In a pop-up for a URL, it will automatically launch a new web browser, which would be a good idea and a good habit probably to get into. So for my display option, I'm going to click in a pop-up. I'm going to scroll clear to the bottom. I'm going to save and return to my course. Okay, so now you can see that I have a website for research, but this time notice the icon for that. Not quite as descriptive as what the icon for my Word document was. Just something to be aware of. Okay, so we have 2 resources uploaded, and now that we're starting to get a multiple list of, or a multiple filed list here, you can start to use the icons to the right of these files to edit these options even further. So the 2 arrow options will allow you to indent certain files that you upload. You can reorder them by moving them up or down. I can go in and I can update the link for this. Now, it doesn't necessarily update a Word document. It only updates the page that I used. There we go. This looks familiar to you, right? And so then that's how you would edit that particular page. The X deletes it. The eyeball hides it until you're ready to use it. And then this little icon here that almost has like two smiley faces or whatever, they're for rules. And we'll talk more about rules in a much later tutorial. So that's a little bit about editing the icons. You'll notice that all of your editing options are still turned on. Once we turn your editing off, you kind of get back to the view of what it is that your students will see. Now this one's a little bit of a lighter gray because it's a visual to you that I have that hidden. You still see it because we're in your account on your home page, but it's a reminder to you that your kids will not see it. So, those were the two options for uploading documents or websites onto your Moodle course. And honestly, these will probably be the two most popular resources that you'll use for your for your Moodle course. So that's kind of it for this tutorial. Why don't you take a minute now to take a look at your own Moodle course and determine several course topics and try uploading and starting to populate a few of those topics with class files or resources that you would like to use in your own course.